Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. How y'all doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope it's not raining and storming too bad where you are. It's raining here right now. We had a little break in the rain for part of the day. It's about, what is it? It's like 12:15 right now. But of course during feeding time it was like the skies opened up and it was a downpour for me. So that was fun. But we've gotten quite a bit of rain in the last few days. We had a flash flood advisory warning thing, and our creek was flowing mighty fast, which you will see in Friday's video this week on 3 Mississippi. I'm not sure if this Sippin' and Spillin' is actually going to post the same day I'm filming it, or if it's going to post tomorrow. I'm going to try to post it today if I have enough reception when I'm out and about, but a lot of times I don't, so we'll see. And I've got about, 400 errands to run in Starkville. I need to do a big trip to the big grocery store. I do most of our little shopping, here at our in-town grocery store, but there's a few things that they don't carry, or that I can't get there, that when I go into Starkville, I do like a bigger shopping run and get a few other things. And I also have got a couple girls that are broody. I mentioned to you guys before, that are sitting on some nests I've got one Jersey Giant that's sitting on, or was sitting on, a mix of chicken eggs and duck eggs. That the chicken eggs got added sufficiently later so that the timing of hatch will be correct. But the Muscovies, just for those of you that don't know, Muscovy duck eggs take about usually closer to 35 days to incubate to hatch, and chicken eggs are more like 21 days. So once they had been sitting for a while, I went ahead and added a few of the chicken eggs and kind of scooted them under her just to see, they'll be barnyard mixes, but I don't care. And just to see if they can hatch any out, because I decided this year there was too much kind of going on and I didn't want to have to babysit my incubator. So I was like, I'm not going to incubate nothing myself this year if I don't have to. Well, then this morning I went out to check on the birds and feed and clean the chicken coop out, and I noticed that the Jersey Giant that was sitting on one of the bunch of the eggs, I was checking to see which nest she was on, because there was one that had all the eggs in it that was empty, and she'd, gotten up to go to the bathroom or gotten up to eat and moved boxes. I candled the eggs that had been abandoned. They were a little on the colder side. They hadn't been set on for, as recently as I would have liked, but they were far enough along that I'm hoping that they'll be okay. Anyway, I checked her, I picked her up to see, and she was only sitting on like 2 eggs that, a bird had left in the nesting box. And she was kind of doing one of these but still acting puffy and broody, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? That's not quite normal broody behavior with the head thing going. And she happened to then, because she's been sitting and been broody, she had broody butt. She, the girls got hit by a big thing of water from a truck. She happened to have what we refer to as broody butt, which is when they expel their waste because they've been kind of sitting and holding it while they're sitting on their eggs so that they don't mess their eggs. And then when they get up for what I lovingly refer to it as their rumspringa, then they get up and they have their food and their water, and they go stretch their legs and go potty. They have this massive expulsion that is usually auditory of nastiness out of their cloaca. And she got up and did that, and when I went to go scoop it, I realized that there were what appeared to be some worms in her stool, and I went, uh-oh, not good. So I separated her right away. I went, and I always look at everybody's stool when I'm cleaning, and when I see them go to the bathroom, I always check. I haven't seen anybody acting irregular or having a regular stool other than her. So Tractor Supply and see if I can get some poultry dewormer and go from there, which is a bummer because it means, you know, don't eat the eggs for a little while, depending on what I can find, what they have, and all of that. So, try to nip that in the bud and see if I can save her. We'll see. I've never had, in all my years of raising poultry, I have never, at least to my knowledge, because I do check these things regularly, I've never had one of my girls or any of my flock come down with worms. And I am such a stickler about scooping out their poop every day and keeping their waters clean and all of that, that I'm like, how did you even get worms? Like, But anyway, I know it happens. But anyway, I'm gonna try to get her some goodies in Tractor Supply today. Man, this creek is full. Holy moly. I wish if I wasn't driving I could show you guys, but this is not usually all the way up under the bridge like this, but I don't know, you won't be able to see through here maybe, but it's full all the way up to the bridge. It's like a full-on river. We got some rain happening is what happened. I checked this morning and our creek was yesterday on Wednesday, it was about, which I mentioned on our live last night, it was, I would say, probably a good 5 or 6 feet deep. Today it's down to, it's probably went down about 3 or 4 feet, so it's only, you know, maybe running around 2 feet right now from what I can see, but still moving swiftly. I'm going to try tomorrow to maybe go down there and do some exploring. It's not supposed to be raining tomorrow, and it should have, you know, dried out enough that I can get down there safely, in theory, and go exploring the creek a little bit, see if anything washed through there that's interesting or anything like that. So we'll see. I'm going to see if I have time and the power and the inclination to go do that, because I'd have to do it by myself unless I waited until like 4 o'clock to do it when Frankie gets home. So we'll see. I may try to do it earlier in the day, because it gets real dark in that creek, even though it's light out till, you know, 7:20 or whatever right now, because there's so many trees that are grown up over that creek. When you're down there, it feels a lot darker. So I don't want to go too late in the day that it would be, you know, hard to see down there. And I, of course, will take precautions and protection with me because, you know, lots of critters down there in that creek, especially this time of year. But maybe I'll find some cool stuff. I might try to do that tomorrow. We'll see. If not, I might wait until Saturday, and maybe then the 3 of us could go down there and do it. I'll film a little excursion of creek hunting and creek exploring, because we haven't done that in a while. And you know, after a big rain like this, it's hard to say, you know, what's going to have been washed through there or now kind of shown that we couldn't maybe see before. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if we discover anything amiss or anything cool down there, and it might be neat to go check it out. But anyway, I'm bummed about the birds potentially having worms. Like I said, it appeared like it could have been, but it also, I don't know. It was really raining hard. I couldn't get my glasses clean because it was early in the morning, so I didn't have my contacts in. I just had my glasses on, so it was really hard for me to see because my glasses don't have windshield wipers on them. So it was really, I kept trying to clean them, but it was to no avail. So it could be nothing, but I'm pretty sure she had some remnants of worm in there. So I do want to try to get that squared away and, you know, make sure that nobody else in the flock has it, gets it, whatever. So I'll be scrubbing some things later and doing some meds and whatever. But like I said, I just basically, I did the homeopathic, dumped some vinegar in there for now and see what happens, you know. It's a shame that it's such miserable wet weather today too, but that doesn't, you know, I hate having to separate a bird when the weather's bad, because it's, I mean, she's in a covered area and everything, but I don't know, I just feel like when the weather's really bad, they might also be in, I don't know. And I had to take her off the nest, and so she's probably a little miffed about that as well. But it had to be done. But I did take those eggs. I've got my 2 geese, my girls. They had laid some eggs. They tried to fertilize them. We've had a couple really bad storms back to back, and one of them overnight blew the roof off of their little hutch where they were nesting, and because it was like real bad winds that night, and they were just sopping wet in the morning, and the nest got basically flooded out, and so those eggs were not viable. And so I pulled out their nest because I was like, okay, well, game over. You guys aren't going to be broody anymore. I cleaned everything out, but they rebuilt the nest. A duck had gone in there, laid 1 egg about, I would say probably about 5 or 6 days ago now. She laid 1 egg in there, and they kicked her out, and they took over it. And they are both sitting on this 1 egg. They love code nesting. They're so cute. But they're both sitting on this 1 duck egg. And so I thought, well, I might as well give them these eggs I checked them, I handled them. They were partially developed. I don't know if they got too cold for too long, but I'll handle them again in a couple of days and see if there's any progress, any growth, or any that I need to pull out and get rid of. But we'll see. Maybe they will actually hatch out some birds this year with their nesting endeavors. They always pick the worst places to make nests. This was the first time they actually picked a structure. Unfortunately, Mike had moved it with the forks, and it kind of ripped the part of the door or the side apart, and the roof came loose. So, and I had not, it's just one of those things where I haven't reattached the hinges and reattached the roof, and so unfortunately that happened. But that's not to say that those eggs may not have been viable anyway. I did check them. There was very early development, and then it looks like they stalled out. So goose eggs are harder to incubate. They're a lot more finicky. So it's one of the reasons why Sebastopols are in so few numbers and so expensive, is because they don't have big clutches and they're really hard to hatch out. So it is what it is. But this next year with this gander that I just got in, new Sebastopol, hopefully I'll be able to actually have viable eggs. Those I will grab and incubate myself, because I don't trust those girls. I love birds that get to be raised by mom and dad, and mostly moms, but sometimes the dads are nice too. But unfortunately, sometimes it's really hard when, if they start laying their clutch too early, you only get so many geese eggs out of them for a couple of weeks, and then they stop laying again. And so the problem being that when that happens, if they've done it too early in the season and you get some inclement weather and they've made their nest outside, those eggs generally get washed out and ruined. So I actually had somebody that watches the channel reach out to me and message me asking me, I found some that got washed out, what should I do? And I basically said they're probably not going to be great, but you can candle them, keep an eye on them for a few more days, because she couldn't tell if they were viable or not, if she could see the heartbeat or a little flutter in there, but she could see some veins. I said, I'd rather wait a couple extra days and see versus doing it for I just picked them up and I can't tell I'm going to toss them. You never know. Because I've done that before where I thought an egg wasn't viable because I was really having a hard time seeing it. And I thought, I'm just going to hold on to it for another couple of days and check it. And it was fine. And ended up hatching out a great bird. So you just never know. You gotta double check everything. Anyway, I'm excited for this rain to kind of lift. We talked about last night on the live, we were supposed to get our gravel delivery this week, but with all the rain we had and everything, we definitely ended up pushing it back. And hopefully, if we can get the geotextile fabric put in place this weekend, because the weather is supposed to be nice, that we can then put in the order to have the gravel delivered like Monday or Tuesday, depending on everything. So that's what I'm hopeful for. It'd be nice to kind of just sort of tick that box and get that done, and just call it good. So hopefully we'll get that crack-a-lackin' next week, and it'll be all swell and dandy. But guys, that's it. That's all the updates I have for you today. Nothing overly exciting, but some drama as usual. You know, not excited about my girls potentially having a little worm issue there. Got to get that nipped in the bud, but hopefully Tractor Supply will have something that I can give them to get them gone. So anyway, I hope y'all are having a blessed day, and as always, safety's on.